The group broke camp the next morning and mounted their horses. Zog and Bethel walked together at the front of the column. Arnak walked beside Cinda and Nock. Kala and Tully took up the rear with Polis and his men. Some would say that this group of bounty hunters were normally races that wouldn't mix. But gold is a powerful motivator, and no one wants to follow bounties until they're buried in a shallow grave in a field no one cares about. At least that's how Yari felt about it. As the column rode over the hill, they saw a small snow-white horse covered in blood. Bethel walked up to it and tried to soothe it. The smaller horse neighed and reared up on its hind legs. Bethel took a step back and snorted, her hoof tapping the black soil.
"Easy, Betha. It's scared is all,"
Kala hissed from behind her.
"Now step back and let me take care of it."
"Old dwarf," Betha said as she slid her battle axe into her left palm.
"You can carve up the meat after I'm done cutting."
Kala slipped behind her, slammed the butt of his axe shaft into the back of her knee, and then pushed her to her knees. He held his hands up as he slipped around her and advanced.
"I may be old, but I'm still quick, Tar. Remember that."
Bethel went to say something, but a look from Yari silenced her. Kala started humming a soft melody, and then eased a little further forward. "Easy, girl. Easy." He made soft kissing sounds until he stood directly under its neck. The horse snorted and pawed the earth, its eyes darting around in their sockets. Kala slid his fingers through its bloody mane to soothe it. He lifted the bridle, turned the underfed horse around, and walked past Yari and the others without a word. As he reached the back of the column, he began to wash the blood from its silky coat. Polis picked up a sword with a hand strapped to it. "Well, now I know what happened to my scout." Yari stared at the hand for a moment, and then glanced over his shoulders. "Where's the rest of him?" Zog shook his head. Yari couldn't tell, but he thought it sounded like a chuckle.
"I say all over the place,"
he said, flicking a piece of flesh off of his foot. Polis bent down and picked up a head with its tongue cut out. He muttered something under his breath. Yari tried to read his lips, but Polis held his hand over his mouth as he spoke. "What was that, Polis?" Yari asked. Polis glanced up and then lowered his head. Yari took a step forward. "Polis, I asked." Polis stood up, his hands shaking. "This was my brother-in-law. My wife will kill me." Yari barked out a laugh. "Lord Polis, you probably won't live long enough for her to kill you in Portagu." He pointed at their company standing by the side of the road. "They'll kill you faster than it will take you to blink." Yari patted him on the shoulder. "I'd bet my life on it." Yari left Polis to bury his brother-in-law and walked back over to the group. "So, what now?" Tully asked, swinging his hammer over his shoulder.
"I say we kill him,"
Betha muttered, much to Arnak's enjoyment.
"We agree on something,"
Arnak grumbled with a hint of a smile. Yari held his hand up. "No, we need him to lead us to the gold." Zog grunted, lifted his club, and pointed north.
"Valo, Zog."